I actually collect anything that references mu'u, books, art, records. I love to find anything portraying it in history, and it's amazed me to see how relevant it was for so long and that we've almost forgotten about it. So it's fun to be a part of the mu'u movement and to help people remember. I started the library program this past March 2021. I had been collecting since my teens, and I really just wanted to kind of share the collection. And in March, when things started opening back up and I was kind of figuring out how I could do it in a way that was sustainable and affordable. Or like, I know a lot of people are familiar with Rent the Runway, so this is kind of like Rent the Runway, but for women's aloha wear only.
Catherine, this one has pockets.
Oh, look at this one. That's really cute.
I think it's really cool that she has this idea of a mu'u library, because sometimes like we can collect so many, but then we don't always want to like keep them forever. So it's really cool that we can share it with other people.
Someone had shared a picture of Marion's like
Collection.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to like look at this. And I ended up winning her giveaway, and that's the first time it came here, and we've been coming back ever since.
This is a mu'u by Betty, and when I was about 15 years old, when I was starting my collection, I found this at a thrift shop, and not this exact one, but I found a dress at a thrift shop and I fell in love with it. But I was a little too ambitious with my sewing skills, so I tried to cut it up and hem it and make it my own, and I trashed it. And the more I started collecting, I realized how valuable the dress was and who the designer was, and I felt so guilty. And I told myself if I ever found that mu'u again, I would give it all the TLC in the world. So I actually found this at a shop at FLUX Hawaii, my friend's shop, and I had to get it included in the library. So I'm treating it right this time. Besides that, I'm not a big brand hunter. I love finding homemade mu'u. So this is one of my favorites. I just think it's so sweet to think of women making their own clothing. It was so normal back in the 60s and before that. They'll try to imitate a lot of the higher end brands, so I imagine a lot of women who knew how to sew or were even seamstresses for these companies, they would just make their own at home. I've talked to a few women who have done that. This is a mu'u by Princess Kaiulani, which is one of my favorite brands actually, and this was gifted to me by a friend of mine's mom, and this belonged to her mother, who was Miss Aloha Hula. And I love this one because I guess she took this back to the Princess Kaiulani store and had them add this detail on the sleeve. It was just like a little poof like that, but she wanted it to be a little extra, so they added the lace here.
I heard about the library through a friend. She is really into sustainable fashion and wearing mu'us, so when she shared that I could rent some, I was excited because I have limited closet space, and being able to return these makes it a lot easier and feasible for me to have rotating mu'u coming in and out of my wardrobe. Of course, I could never have as many dresses as there are in here, but having them accessible makes it so easy to match something to an occasion. I wore, actually, for kindergarten graduation with my students, I wore this dress.
Some of the mu'u that they have at this library, when I put it on, I feel like I take on the character of whoever owned it. So sometimes I picture, you know, maybe they were a mom, a grandma, or maybe they owned their own business and they just wore this mu'u to go kick some butt.
In times of change, people tend to get nostalgic, and I think that's happening now. But I definitely think this is more than a trend or just people being nostalgic. I think it is this realization that we want more out of fashion and we don't want to just wear things that are from Zara or Forever 21. We want to dress in something that has meaning and something that is sustainable. So I think the Mu'umu'u library offers that to women. They have a place, and I think the place encourages them to seek occasions for them, and it's fun.